because when Tony flicked the ball, he created problems. And every time break, long balls, on balls, they could not win it. And crosses, they defend really well. The three central defenders plus then we struggle to create chances. Who is the first in the Premier League is because you're the best.
Hey guys, welcome to Fluent Football, the channel that teaches you everything you need to know to speak fluent English for football, just like a professional. Today, we're going to have a look at a press conference that Pep Guardiola did a few weeks ago after Manchester City lost 2-1 against Brentford in the Premier League. And I'm going to tell you what I think of Guardiola's English in the press conference. Before we get too far though, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons to make sure you get all the latest content from Fluent Football. So I'm going to show you a small snippet of the press conference, then we'll go through it and talk about it. Okay, here we go.
We could not make high press because they don't allow us the long balls, keeper to striker. And in this process, the keeper to striker, we could not win any ball. Because when Tony flicked the ball, he created problems. When Tony kept the ball and played with the three players in the middle, created problems. And we could not have this, regain the ball again. We saw it in the first action, the first 50, 60 minutes, they have two clear chances.
All right, so let's start with his vocabulary. He's been working in England for quite a few years now, so I imagine over at Manchester City, the owners probably would expect him to have very good English or very strong English, and he really does. So one example of a phrase he uses, he says create problems. He's talking about Ivan Toney, and he says a number of times that Toney creates problems for Manchester City.
He creates problems. When Tony kept the ball and played with the three players in the middle, created problems.
It's very common to hear English learners use a phrase like do a problem or maybe make a problem instead of create a problem. So it just shows a certain level of comfort with the language that he has. He also uses the phrase at one point, win the ball, or I think he says win any balls.
We could not win any ball.
So win the ball is a common way to say get possession of the ball. And again, most English learners would probably say something like take the ball, just because take is a more common word and they feel more comfortable with it. But English speakers will typically say win the ball. So the fact that Pep uses the phrase win the ball, again, shows just a level of comfort with the language. If I'm being really picky about his vocabulary, he does make one mistake. Again, when he's speaking about Tony, he says that Tony flicks the ball.
Because when Tony flicked the ball...
So if I say flick the ball, what it literally means is this. This is the ball, and this is a flick, and I flick the ball. This is obviously not what Guardiola means. Okay, first of all, one, you're not allowed to touch the ball with your hands, and two, that does nothing. That doesn't create problems. So what Guardiola actually means to say is flick the ball on. Tony flicks the ball on. Just adding the on at the end would change the meaning so that when Tony receives the ball, he doesn't try to control the ball. He doesn't take time to dribble. He just passes the ball, probably with one touch straight away. He flicks the ball on. It's not really a big problem though. It doesn't cause a problem for Guardiola's communication. It's still clear what he means. Plus he acts it out when he says it, so it's not really a big problem. Overall, I'll give him 4 out of 5 for his vocabulary. Very good, very strong. Next, looking at his pronunciation. So again, pretty good. No really big problems that come up. He does do something that a lot of Spanish speakers do, and that's when he says a word like this with the TH. The TH actually sounds like a D. It sounds like he says dis.
They don't allow us. And in this process, and we could not have this.
So technically it is wrong, but it's just his accent. It's not really a big problem. It's just the way his accent sounds, and it doesn't cause any problems for his communication. A lot of people worry about their accent when they're learning English. They think it's a big problem. It doesn't really matter though, as long as the words you say are understandable, as long as the people you're speaking to understand the words, even a little mistake like this doesn't really cause any problems, okay? It's only really if you say a word and people have no idea what you're saying. So if you're worried about your accent, don't worry about it. As long as people understand you, it's all good. There is one little section that I'm confused by. I don't understand what he says.
And we could not have this, okay, regain the ball again.
I think he's just speaking too quickly and it comes out very fast. Again, very common for Spanish speakers. Spanish people tend to speak very quickly and sometimes it can be difficult to hear what they say. But native English speakers sometimes do that as well, so it happens. If you're a Spanish speaker and you understand what he's saying, please comment and tell me. I would like to know. Or if you're a speaker of any language and you know what he's saying, please comment and tell me. I want to know. Overall, for pronunciation, very good. Again, I'll give him 4 out of 5. Next, we'll have a look at his grammar. So this is the one where he probably makes the most mistakes, but it's not really a big problem. Again, it doesn't cause big issues. For example, right at the beginning, he says high press when he means press high.
We could not make high press because
Then he says we could not win any ball.
we could not win any ball.
However, with the word any, you need a plural here. So it should be we could not win any balls. Then the other thing is that he is talking about the past. He's talking about a game after it's finished. But he doesn't always use the verbs in the past. Sometimes he uses them in the present.
They don't allow us. Tony flick the ball, he creates problems. Tony keep the ball and play with the 3 players in the middle, create the problems. They have 2 clear chances.
For me, none of these are really big issues. Again, they don't really affect his communication. He does make quite a lot of mistakes, but they're not big problems. These are the kind of mistakes he could go and fix them and really focus on them and practice them if he wants, but I don't think he really needs to. Again, his communication's very strong, so it doesn't really matter. Grammar is one of the biggest concerns that people have when they're speaking English. They worry about it a lot, but grammar rarely causes the problems that people think it does. If you put all the words in the wrong order and you constantly have the wrong tense, then yeah, okay, grammar can create problems. But as we saw from Guardiola, lots of small regular mistakes, they don't really matter. They don't really affect your communication. So yeah, for Guardiola, 3 out of 5 for grammar, but I'll give him 5 out of 5 for communication. So just to recap on this little section, it was 4 out of 5 for the vocabulary, 4 out of 5 for the pronunciation, 3 out of 5 for grammar. He lost a little bit there, but 5 out of 5 for communication. So overall, just from this little snippet, 4 out of 5 for Guardiola's English. Very good, very strong. So I'd like to hear from you. What do you think of Guardiola's English? Please comment below and let me know. And also let me know whose English you'd like me to look at next. Think about if it's a manager, a player, or anybody. Comment below and tell me. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Helps me out a lot. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.